Have you seen the screen now?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, and then also selamat pagi ya to our honorable Dean, Professor Suharnomo. Okay, and also my good friend, my old friend. We come back again, meet again after 15 years, Prof. Professor Anis. So he also, I think, head of the doctoral program in economics. And also our distinguished moderator today, Dr. Fahad, and all my friends in Diponegoro University, academics and students, and also my student from Malaysia and my friends from other countries joining. I think some of them from India also joining now, Prof. Suarnomo. So probably Indonesia, Diponegoro can connect to the India. I have very
Yeah.
good contact in
Okay.
India University.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
maybe later we will go to India and Malaysia. All right.
Okay.
So, and also I got my good friend, Dr. Ariana, which is my we working for a long time, almost 20 years, Prof. Since we actually we start in the Wollongong, and then I met Dr. Anis and Dr. Ariana, all these my friends from Australia. So then we think that one day we'll become academician anyway. So this is a good of academician where we will connect each other. So this is how my heart to Indonesia. I'm very glad to come back to Diponegoro virtually. Hopefully we can go on physical as soon as possible, Professor Sonomo. And I think we can have collaboration with my university also because of we are much of focus on entrepreneurship, okay, and business. So we have the same, I think, same area that we could work together. I just informed to my deputy vice chancellor also and my dean, Prof. Nick Myran, newly appointed deputy vice chancellor of academic international, and also my dean, Dr. Rosalina. Okay, so today I take this opportunity, actually because of this doctoral program. So I really want to connect theory and practice lah. So most of our student struggling, don't know, especially when come back to the doctoral program, they don't know what to do, where to start. Just inform to Prof. Sarno and Prof. Dr. Fuad of the ANI, I have about 18 students working under me, PhD and master. They are working all, most of them in industry. They're all practitioners. Like I think I can see in your student also like that. So the good thing of a practitioners working on the doctorate program is actually the working on the real issue on their workplace and how this doctoral can help to help them in it. So this is how I always tell my students, you have to think about your own area of research in your own companies, and then after that you can develop. And now I think there's a few success story happening now. So I believe that all of them looking at the national policy of the country. Just now in your opening, Prof, I can see that you have a vast knowledge on the minimum wage. You explain. I don't know your background, Prof. Maybe you are management. I'm not sure. Maybe.
I'm It's R also, Prof.
Oh, okay. So
It's
you.
our person also, yes.
All right, right, right. That's why you understand very clear on the issue,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And actually, Indonesia and Malaysia have a long-term relationship. I was visiting many times. Well, of course, I didn't come to Semarang. Maybe next time we landed at Semarang also. But in terms of the collaboration, yes, with the Ministry of Labor in Indonesia, I did presented about minimum wage long time ago. And so why today I'm here? Actually, I'm not teach all of you. You all even a knowledgeable person, and in your academic world, even my student here, they all more knowledgeable than me. I'm here to share my experience that how I involved in this. Consider is a important policy in the country that is a minimum wage. But I think before to think about minimum wage policy and how I relate my doctorate, my PhD, when I did my PhD in Australia under Professor Ray Markey. So he's a well-known scholar in the labor and industry worldwide. And I follow him many conferences, and then I found that how this my doctorate can help in the national policy. So when I come back from Malaysia, then I found that there are a lot of room to improve.
Dimakan kali
So
kan?
so our doctorate, most doctoral student must understand that we are not just doing doctorate for ourselves, but also doing doctorate for our country. So this is how I try to bring the new spectrum. When you do the doctorate program, you always remember that your topic must be related to what happening in the country. So because we want to make our society more sustained. So actually, Prof. Suharno, I was in Sabah for more than 17 years as a lecturer until the tutor. I got my doctorate master. Then I was established an industrial relation program in UMS. We got like department. But later in 2013, they brought me to the University of Malaysia Kelantan because they want to develop it's a new university at that time, about 5 years, 7 years old. So then I come as a pioneer. So we work out and we change a lot of education curriculum. Although IR is not the main area, but of course there's a HR, one small component. But in my PhD masters, I still, focusing on this issue, right? Right. So, Prof, see the slide moving or not? Not moving. Any moving in my slide? Can you see that? No. It's not moving. I'm not sure what happened. Okay. Is it moving, Prof?
Yeah, moving.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Prof. So I think I don't show. Maybe some of our students never been to Malaysia. I'm not sure. Maybe some of them, but Malaysia is everybody knows, because we have the same language. We are speaking the same kind. Kita berbahasa Indonesia, Melayu, kita faham satu sama lain. Sebab kita memang satu rukun yang satu rantau di sini, ya. We can communicate. If you go to Brunei, because we are very close, because you see Kalimantan very close. We are our heart, Sometimes Sumatera, Jakarta ni macam kita abang adik lah. Saya selalu cakap, Prof, ada masalah pun kita boleh selesaikan. We can solve our problem. There's no problem with us. We academic, please be harmonious lah. The policy maker, let them be like that, or the politician, but we are not like that. We are always harmonious among the circle. So, but Prof, I see this map. Why I say that there are a lot of opportunities we can explore, which I think we are lack of exploring within our own ASEAN countries. So I hope, Prof, after this, probably we can start thinking about how to develop or like human resource IR, within the ASEAN context, like the Philippines, Brunei, Vietnam, and all this. So these are the things that we don't even explore much. But I think that the internalization is actually near our place, Prof. So I also established a Malaysian IR and HR because it was a need from the ILO, because they have this international relation. So they want a national center to get. So now because MCO, we are not really go very actively, but next year maybe we go. So maybe I will say invite Prof to come and join our launching program. Okay, so where I am, I'm in the Kelantan. Kelantan is, you can see, 1 hour from flight from Kuala Lumpur. So if you come to Kelantan, Pro, you've been there last time, Pro. I think very nice place, nice small town. So I always said Kelantan is like Germany, we don't have a high-rise building, very cool, So my hometown in Kuala Lumpur, but I working there. So I think like I'm holiday, not only working as a professor, but I feel like holiday. I think same thing go to like Semarang, Jakarta, Bali, and all these nice places, we can have a lot of collaboration. But Prof can see in the East Coast, always we are facing the flood. And I think you remember that 2014, we have a very big, serious flood in Kelantan. But of course, we come back again alive. So some of our friends here, East Coast is actually a lot of things, especially tourism and small micro industry located here. All right, this is my university, but our new campus already halfway completed in Bacho. So next time you all come. So we got 3 campuses, one in the town near airport, 5 minutes from the airport. This is where I'm located in Kota, we call Campus Kota, which is a PhD, DBA, and all these program, doctoral program was in this Kota. But with the main campus, Bacho is about 45 minutes from the very nice place near the beach, and the campus will be main there. So next time you're around, we can bring you, see you around. And the other campus, Jeli is about 2 hours from Kota Baru. You must drive into there. That's more on agro business science basis, all located there because of the surrounding. So we got mainly 3 campuses at the moment. And we are really focused on entrepreneurship. Okay, Prof. So this is why I say today, a doctoral student, I like advise all of you. when I and Dr. Ariana was doctoral student. So sometimes that me and Dr. Anis is not same field, Prof. He is in accounting. I was in management, but the collaboration must be take place. So this how I I work. I like to work with across the discipline, so multidiscipline. And that's how you see our friendship will go on and on until. So this how I work on the doctorate. And doctor student, you can go on the innovation. Don't think that you are like social sciences, you cannot go. We are actually, I and Dr. Ariana able to go to until the what do you call Geneva in Korea, because we cross the comparative study between Malaysia and Indonesia, because we very close relationship and we see the similarities. So this happened all after doctorate. So we try to do a lot of innovation. We go to competition and then all this. So I like to invite all of you to compete in our university next time. There's any competition. Recently, Prof, I also work with my doctoral student. We won a gold medal on our research. So because the research will capture the niche for the policy. So I hope the doctoral student not just doing a research, you must be crossover. As when me and Dr. Anis as a student, we are not just sitting there do PhD. We also like explore ourselves to getting grant, to talk, as virtual seminar. We have coffee together, but we come up with a lot of things. We say one day after we all graduate, we can work together. So, Prof, this is my latest book, Prof. Good corporate governance. I am across from the IR to the governance, because Dato Sri Raman was CEO, former CEO in RISDA. RISDA is actually small holders for rubber, and he was a chief executive officer there. And I believe that working with him is much valuable. So we work with industry people and we produce this book. So this book talk about governance. But my doctorate, actually this book, and this is how I started to apply the theory that I gathered from my doctorate into the national policy. And that's what today I'm going to talk about that. So apart from that, just now Dr. Fat already explained the book. And I also invited by recently, Prof, at the national level to propose labor and HR policy for the country. In fact, we are also working on the, how to move from the minimum wage to next level. Then we work with the Malaysian Productivity Corporate Center, and we also come out steering standard for labor and so on. So a lot of things are happening in our country, and academician should be play an important role, and university must play a role, because the only agent of change from the university, and they have to participate in the national policy. So don't think ourselves within our like Diponegoro, just Semarang, but within the Semarang, we can actually got a lot of impact surrounding area and also national. So I think the people at the national level, policymakers, they look at us because we are researchers. So we need to apply the knowledge. Okay, Prof, this is my mom. So why minimum wage started? Actually, because my mom. Okay, I was stay in the plantation sector, rubber estate, and my mom was working in the rubber estate. And at that time, my mom passed away very young age. At the 55, she passed away. And all this because due to the wages and the environment and safety. I myself involved together with her. I can see the wages about 200 ringgit less. And then she have to sustain about 6 of us of family. And she able to do that. And finally, she passed away. And in fact, if we have a better safety and all this, I don't think so. She will pass that age, that young. Maybe she stay another 10 years like that. But the legacy she leave it to me. Then I have to take role. So when I come back from PhD, and I think that one of the issue that I need to do for not only my mom but all the moms and people in the poor. What do you say? Something like people, unfortunate people in the country, and then we think about minimum wage. And minimum wage at that time is not a big issue. It's just like they have minimum wage, but not all the sectors. So at that time, Prof, when I was in UMS, I came back. I promote a lot of things. I brought a trade union to the university. I brought the employers, and then my student doing all undergraduate student brought no master. At that time, we don't have so much master and PhD, and that time I have no PhD also. But I have to do something for policy. Then we highlighted, and suddenly it came out in the newspaper. And this is before, Prof, before they enacted minimum wage at that time. So thank God that kind of prime minister that I agreed to have minimum wage. So and Malaysia never been ratified for the minimum wage compared to Indonesia. I think Indonesia you already have a long time ago before us, right? Other countries like Vietnam, but we are not ready ratified. But in year, I think later, after we elected in 2012, we come up with the law, and Malaysian National Wages Consultative Council Act, Act 732, and part of that is actually minimum wage. So article of ILO Convention 131 on minimum wage fixing. So it's already in accordance to the international body, which is, I think, we need to be ratified. Otherwise, we are out of. So, but although we started quite late, but we are doing quite well with this council. So I'm one of the pioneer, joined as a technical committee until now, and tomorrow we have another important meeting to revise every 2 years. So we announce the new minimum wage every 2 years after we go through a thorough research. That's why I grateful to Dr. Anis invite me so that I can share the reality, not only by theoretically but also practically, and also due to the policy. So basically, you see why we need the minimum wage. We already proposed to at that time, and government actually cabinet approved, and because we need to giving protection to the workers and ensure basic need of worker and reduce nation depending on unskilled workers and compile to industry to move up to the chain. So there are almost coming to the 10 years, I can see a lot of things moving on the line that we highlighted the objective here. So we can see that, people start happy, people start feel like, wow, they're part of the industry. But we still get room for improvement. But again, I think most of us here, I think even in Indonesia, we must think that minimum wage is not solving the poverty of the country. Don't misunderstand that, because minimum wage is only one tool to help the people to protect. That's all. But it cannot solve so there are other policy. The government and cabinet, or maybe in Indonesia, the president, they must think about how to help these vulnerable people. Don't just use a minimum wage, but minimum wage is important because it's starting of to solve their problem. So a little bit of background, okay? So as I said before, minimum wage is not a new issue. They're already there before independence. You can see that those days, the Indian and Chinese brought from the other countries, from like southern India, and also from China, they came in to help our mine and rubber at that time, long back time. So at that time, in 1947, the British already have some enactment on the minimum wage. The only thing that we are not covered the whole Malaysia, because you can see that most of the country, I'm not sure the latest numbers by maybe Dr. Ariana will highlight to me, or Dr. Suarnomo can highlight on me the percentage of unionized. In Malaysia, only was 6-7% only. 94% actually people non-unionized. So when you talk about non-unionized, they don't have any collective agreement. When they don't have collective agreement, there's no way the salary will be changed. So the same thing goes to Malaysia. 93% they don't have any salary improvement, all this. So I think that's why the National Consultative Wage Council Article 732 was applied, and also helping the people in the vulnerable people, those working. We call in Malaysia B40. B40 group is actually those earning 1,000 and below. So this is so you can see that the issue is actually in everywhere. So I think Prof. Suarno, don't worry. Our wages apply to everyone, even Indonesian workers. Don't worry. So our Indonesian workers enjoying and send the money to your kampung. So kampung kita akan dibina rumah-rumah cantik-cantik dekat sana. So kita tidak discriminate, Prof. Please, we don't discriminate. Under the ILO, kita treat them well. I don't care. But they are working very hard. That's the thing. The different thing that they work very, very hard. Kalau Bapak pergi ke all the plantation sector, rubber estate, or oil palm, you can see they are working very, very hard. And I think as our labor expert, we want everybody at the same. I always tell in many forums, they are employee, they are come here to work in Malaysia. We have to treat them equally. There's no way that we will, but they must be legalized. We don't want illegal parts or no. Kita mau legalize, because legalize actually is much better, legal them, and they have a proper. If they come illegal, I hope that the government should stop illegally coming to the Malaysia or whatever country. Legalize, because you see COVID-19, Suarno, really helpful all the workers who are illegal to legalize, because COVID they won't see legal or illegal. COVID just attack everyone. So when it comes to the issue, and the government realize, and then they start doing so. So I think sometimes COVID also good, not so bad. So somebody laughing, because but if you look at the other issue, of course, COVID actually destroyed the whole industry. But basically, what I'm saying that sometimes good, to penetrate some issues which is unresolved for a long time. From my side moving, I worry about fact. Is it okay, Prof?
Yes, okay, okay.
Yeah, sometimes we okay. So this is a wage inequality. You can see maybe some of the employees we do a lot of study on the plantation workers. We met a lot of Indonesian workers. We talk to them and we understand them and we propose some other things. All right. So as I said to you all, minimum wage already applied before 2011, but not cover the whole Malaysia. You can see from here, 1947, we already got a council, which is actually before independent. We independent 1957, but 10 years back, they already have this wage council. So I'm not saying that they have, but not cover the whole thing. And also in Malaysia, before minimum wage and the national policy, we got 3 way of to determine the policy. I think Prof. Anis, as an accountant, Prof, I think should think about finance, about the employees and how they're budgeting. So I think next time you can talk about, like accounting and, minimum wage. I'm not sure. But the Prof had to think about that because when it comes to money matters, of course, employer reluctant to pay more money. But we got 3 here, collective agreement and market force. So what I'm trying to say that the collective bargaining only 7%. Market force determined by the employer. Employer can pay anything. If employer pay very high, should be no problem. But when it comes to market force, always employer go for lower cost. And of course, workers want the higher, labor, better life, industrial harmony, and they want a better protection. But this is happening in the. So these are the problem we face. Okay, so as I said to you all, minimum wage is not a new, already there before 2011. But the government at that time feel that to address the 93% or 90% who are not non-unionized, we should come back. And also address the global issue. We want to attract the investor to come to Malaysia. Any investor to come to Malaysia, they look at the labor policy first. What is the labor policy? So World Bank and all these very, much to focus on this. And at the beginning, World Bank, ILO helping us. I saw directly. I talked to them. We have engagement. We got a lot of fight between employers, union. But finally, we come to industry harmony. So all this we have before the end. We call order: catering, hotel, cinema workers, stewards, cargo, shop assistant, and also lastly private security guards. So they have all these. They apply to this group of people. But of course, later part they have what they call wait now. Pranis, I think the something. Maybe I don't know my computer. I'm not sure. I have to do like this. Sorry, you cannot stay longer. So okay. So wage councils and we got apply to vulnerable, low paid, and inadequate quality bargaining, as I said to you before, and they're not revised regularly. So that's also very inactive. So previously, you can see the CA collective agreement. I think most of you in this room, probably you don't understand what is a collective agreement. Collective agreement is only involve those recognized union in workplace. The national union, also company union. So when their union recognized by the employer and by the union, they must actively engage in the collective agreement. And then you can see that very less in 2008, about 6.4% only. And mostly wage determination through market force. So I think people from accounting, economics, I think should know about this. Market force is actually they're looking for the if the economy not doing very well, they just pay. So the salary before the minimum wage always 700 or 600 ringgit. So you can see how low it is. I think I remember 2010 when I was come back from PhD. I saw in Sabah the workers, even Malaysian workers, they are earning about 200. But I didn't blame anyone there at that time because market force actually is up to you to pay. But there's no intervention from the government. So minimum wage actually intervention from the government as a policy, as a law and enforcement. So and people start paying. And I think the whole regeneration, all the cultural change happening last 10 years. Some people start, but one thing, union actually play important role in Malaysia. Union was always debated on minimum wage long time ago, even 1980s, 90s. They never non-stop. I believe the minimum wage also come from the one of the big contribution from the union, MTUC. So a lot of people see that union not important, but sometimes union also important. Although they are 6%, but the way they are addressing the issue is very important. So that's why until now we got the minimum wage and many and also of course MEF. MEF is a Malaysian federation, Malaysian Employer Federation. I think in Indonesia also we have union, we have employee federation. These two always different opinion, different, but it's okay. In our theory, many scholars like Prof. Dunlop, Alan Flanders, Alan Fox, Richard Hyman, and all these professors, they already admitted that whenever is a union, when employers, there will be always debate between that. But fundamentally, IR is very important because IR can bring them as a industry harmony, and they will come to that. And I see in my own eyes, when during the time we proposed the minimum wage policy, there are a lot of debate going between MEF. One time, I think Malaysian employers just come up from the room and say we're not agree, but government intervene. This is what Prof. Dunlop trying to say in his theory. Theory system, he was invented in 1958. Prof. Dunlop said government always the third party to resolve the problem. They're not the first party. Okay, so government intervention is very important at that time. So you can see that union come up with the research proposal at that time, how much the salary is supposed to pay, and what is the cost of living at that time, and how people survive. So they said not enough. So that's a good thing that the foreign laborers coming working in Malaysia. I'm talking legal one. I don't know about illegal, but legal one, they also getting the same salary, no discrimination. Until now, I'm very proud to see that nobody discriminate on this. They all paid the same because this is what ratified by ILO, and we have to follow the ILO. Right? So there are a lot of blog was started at that time, and this you can see from here with 900 at the beginning we proposed 900 based on our research. We got formula. Later I show the formula. I think recently Indonesia accepted that formula. In the beginning they don't have a proper formula. I know that Dr. Ariana was a committee member for the what they call in Jakarta, and he came here to Malaysia also. Then at that time we don't have formula, but recently I heard Indonesia also start using the formula. Based on the formula, then we do research, thorough research, and thorough we collect data from statistical data and from FGD and all this. And we go throughout the country. We talk to everybody. I was involved for 9 years with this kind of environment, and we listen to everyone, every corner of the people in Malaysia. Then we come back and propose. So we are technical committee. We're expert in economics, IR, HR. So we are able to propose. But the debate is going on to any. If you look at here, National Employment Return Research done by our National Labour Center, and we can see that people like 63%, 48%, 20%, the average salary is less than 700. That's why minimum wage was really seriously discussed, because there must be some intervention from the government in order to protect the vulnerable group of people, especially those people we call B40 group. So we got B40, M40, and T20. So M40 middle group of people, and then the T20 is high income. The people doing it. So, but we are concerned about B40 group. So then we found that it's below the poverty line. So that means you are below poverty line, not good for the country, because you are still poor. So that's why minimum wage come. But again, I stress here. We keep on telling in many our proposal. Minimum wage cannot solve the poverty. Poverty is totally another issue. It's a big agenda for the country. In fact, in Indonesia, I also like to inform here, you don't use the minimum wage to solve the minimum wage. Only minimum to coverage the people who are vulnerable. That's only, but it cannot. So 33% of people earning less than 700. So that's why I say very important how to bring this. So out of doctoral student here, I just reminded all of you, whenever you do your research, not your supervisor. Your supervisor is supervised. Remember, your supervisor cannot help you all A to Z. Your supervisor just supervise. You have to determine the thesis is yours. I think Prof. Anis, remember our supervisor in Australia? Whenever we meet, what he said, this is yours. You have to do your thesis. Not come back to me, and we always was bombarded by the supervisor. Whenever, I don't know, you experience, Dr. Anis, I got a very bad experience with my supervisor. I did almost 1 year my research methodology. You and we all working very hard. Go to the library, spend time. Wow, then he throw me out. He said, this is not up to my standard. Wow, that time I will really upset up and down. But I got nice friends like you, many friends, you know, we have coffee, we discuss, and we come back alive. And today I know why he said like that. Okay. So this is very good on that. So then you can see that what another issue that we are focusing here is the employer side, the productivity is very high, 6 to 7%. At that time, okay, 2010, 11, 12, why they pay salary very low? That's question two. So you see, salary increased 2.6%, but productivity go on 6 to 7%. So what is going on? That's a question to ask. This is a problem, you know. This is what the World Bank was do research. Okay, they said, especially low skilled workers. So it says something not happening in the labor market. Okay, for economists, those do economics, I think you should know about it. The labor market must be rectified. We have to correct the labor market, because how can 7%, but the 2.6% only the salary in rose every year? This is the issue. All right, and we're very glad in year 2011 during the budget speech. Okay, Prime Minister, I think, listened to all the voices from the union, because at that time, I think the Prime Minister really want to listen to everyone, regardless whether they are opposition party or union or whatever. Listen to the many parties, and then he was, I think, you asked some task force to look at this under Ministry of Human Resources, and they think that there's a one way to do that, and then they bring ILO and World Bank to do research and come out with that, and he announced in 2008. Remember, it's a National Wages Consultative Council, only apply to private sector only, not government sector. Government sector, another issue. So this is actually sub of the council job, looking at the minimum wage first. There are many things we're going to discuss later. We are thinking to do the wage reform to the country. So at that time we got the National Economy Advisory Council, NEAC. So they come up with a new economy model report, and they already put this one. So you see, whenever this thing happen at national level, you go on the blueprint, you go to national. Once it become national level, it's very, very important component. So then they think that to setting up a mechanism. This is how the NWCC it was established at that time in 2011. They found that there will be mechanisms. So they also engaged with the many people around the world. Chile, Korea, and many countries where successfully have this mechanism. So that's why I think in Indonesia also time for us to re-look at your council, or how the council will work. Is it okay by city like Jakarta, Semarang, like that, or you want to go like national? You have to always do research, because research is very important. That's why the academician, Pranish, all must involve actively. Prof. Sumarno, all these professors must involve on the policy of the country, so that we can correct, because we are the one actually do things. So your PhD topic, maybe your doctoral topic, maybe you focus on the main element on this. Okay, so part 1.4, how Malaysia did the transition on the minimum wage. So this is very important. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. The formula. In fact, we come out with this formula, our own formula based on the literature review. Of course, we look at other countries and we come up with our own. This is, I think, we can contribution. If you look at the during economy research, you do a lot of literature review and then you come back. So we got two criteria here, base criteria and adjustment criteria. Okay, and then we are very fair to employers and employees. So we can see the base criteria, that's a base. So we took a poverty line income, and second one, median wage is for employers. So you will be, that's what IR is actually fair. So the prosperity must be balanced between employer and employee. So when we put the formula also must be like that. We cannot under bypass another party, because it's very important. Important for employer and important for employees. So, and we justify why we take this one. So we say determine the basic needs of worker and his family, and median wage, actually we're looking for the employer employability. Whether the employer ability to pay or not. That's why we take median wage. Whether because you see a lot of micro and semi, all these people, they're not able to pay. So we do put in the formula. We got data, statistic, national level, and so on, like DOSM, Department of Statistical Department, their data, valid data. So we took everything. But when you do this, as you know, previously my slide showed that trade union come up with cost of living, and then we take changes to consumer price index related to cost of living. We take productivity. Just now you see the productivity going up 6 to 7%, but the salary going up 2.6%. And of course, we took the unemployment rate. So during the pandemic, COVID-19, of course, the issues are more critical and more important. So we are adjustable to all these situations. We're looking at that. But whatever thing happen, we do a proper research based on the formula. And this formula was discussed, was debated, was proposed during the many workshop and forums, and a lot of debate going on. Various people come involved from employer side, individual employees, academician, policy, NGO, and everybody come back, and then we agree with this. So this is our formula, but the formula can be adjustable. So I think at least some of you are doing economics. I think you know the economic metric. So then you can see that it's a fair for the employers and employees. And that's how we determine the salary in year 2013 and then until now. So the last exercise we did actually 1st January. So currently we can see that we are moving from the regional. At the beginning we put Sabah, Sarawak and Peninsular Malaysia. Maybe you ask question why Malaysia got many regions. Actually different laws. Sabah we got different labor law, Sarawak labor law, and we got Employment Act in Peninsula. Why it happened? Because of the political agreement those days when Sabah, Sarawak entering Malaysia in 1963, and that agreement was made. So that's why the differences. So in the beginning, of course, we do by region, and after that, I think in year 2000, I think 8 or 10, we are go on national level. Okay, we put the national level of the, I think 16, 14 like that. We put the national level. Every 2 years we revise the salary, and coming to 2020, the government announced the city. Okay, city they got that council, right? Follow the council formula, the council city. So city and not city, non-city. Okay, so selected city, and then we already categorized by the I think the town council, and also what they call they have the law to determine this. So you pay 1,200, and apart from city, everybody pay 110. So that's why we put the Malaysia. All right. So that then we are actually in the process to do another revised by next year. So we are gathering a data. So we are collecting data, analyze data. We are writing a report, and maybe in the year 2022, you will know, because you of course you will come out in the. So we involve in this process every 2 years, and before we involve, we engage with all the employers, employees, representative, or individual employer throughout the country. We go and do the what they call FGD, focus group discussion. So this year we do virtually. A lot of people participate, a lot of employers participate, and we listen to a various group of people throughout the Malaysia. Okay, and then we determine. So we can see that that the minimum wage, I think, replacing the Wage Council 1947. So that's why in year 2011 we come up with the national. That means everybody in Malaysia will get minimum wage increment if the announcement made every 2 years. So regardless, union or non-union. But those union companies, they may be adjustable, but they are okay. Every 3 years, they will get the adjustment. So that is an agreement between the union and the company at the workplace level. But for the national level, regardless anyone, they will get. So at least the people now, at least they have 1,000 ringgit, at least minimum. Minimum. I'm talking not maximum, minimum. So at least the market force is not applicable anymore, but it have to follow. So it's a creativity of employers to do what next. They cannot just simply pay the minimum wage and then stop there. Cannot. Then you won't see any improvement at the company level. So we think that another issue like PIWS, we got another guideline we call productivity linked wage system that employer can use to upgrade the employees to next level. Okay. Okay, sorry. I have to do like this. Okay. All right. Now coming back to the theory. Okay. So how I relate the theory? That's very important at the PhD level. In the beginning, I'll talk about practice, how we set up the minimum wage, where you come from, how did that, and then now I'll talk about where is my doctorate will be, related to the minimum wage. And I found that actually there's theory come from the model of Martinton. Professor Martinton come up with the JCC, they call Joint Consultation Committee. So at that time, I think me and Dr. Ariana also written a lot of papers, comparative study between Indonesia and Malaysia. And we found that employee participation is a key. Why we successfully buy in from the employers, from the union, from the government, actually because of employee participation. I never use the term employee involvement because involvement is just involved. You cannot make any decision. All right. Participation means this is our definition here. Okay. A lot of scholars from worldwide, they decide where employees are participate decision making process rather than simply acting and orders. This is very important. Acting and orders. So in this context, I see that in my own eyes, I sitting with them, MEF, Malaysian Employee Federation, MTUC, Malaysian Trade Union Congress, and also the government, MOHR. There are three parties as explained by Prof. Dunlop in his theory system. So he was saying that, there will be three tripartism to make a decision. And that's why we make enacted minimum wage. So it's actually an empowerment process at the workplace during the economic crisis. So after I completed my study, so I come up with this employee participation. They have a direct and indirect. Now I think I just entering to the doctoral student here because the is really relevant to them. How I brought the theory into the reality that I discussed before. So if you can see, they are direct. Most of you are alert about this. I think some of you working in industry, some academicians should know that we got QCC, ISO 9000, 5S, anything in the workplace is a direct, only direct, meaning to say one to another one. Like employer said, okay, we want to get ISO 9000. That's all. We all involved. We cannot have a say. We cannot object. But we come to another one, indirect. That one you can see here. Joint Consulting Committee, Union Management Corporation, Work Council, mostly in Europe, partnership, okay, Union Management Employees, in-house union, LMC, Labor Management Council. So my student actually now is working in the different topic here. They are working on different, so they want to see the impact, So today, so you can see that where is a minimum wage actually located in joint consultative committees. So that's how you brought your theory into the practice. So mine is more qualitative case study. So I'm using multi-method and qualitative case study. It's very interesting because you can bring the qualitative inside the reality of the people. So majority of my doctoral students are using ethnographic studies or case studies because we believe they have experience. Like one of my student already developed a model, and the model now come by himself. Okay, because he was 25 as CEO of the company. So then the model will go back to the theory to match the model. That's a very difficult study done by him. But whatever thing that, but most important that how you relate to the practice. So Prof. Martinton giving a very clear definition here, where he said managers and employees are expected to meet on regular basis in order exchange view as happened in our minimum wage and NCW, National Council. So this is what we call council, consultative council. All right. So and utilize members' knowledge, expertise, deal with the common interest and not a subject. So this is what the Professor Martin said. Okay, they discuss a lot of issue beyond the collective bargaining. Collective bargaining already set up issue 1 or 2, but JCC go beyond. So what I'm here, I can see that there were regular meeting. Yes, we have a regular meeting in MPGN. We call Majlis Perundingan Gaji Negara. Okay, NCW, Majlis Perundingan Gaji Negara. This is a high body, and we are under the body. We are technical committee. So what we do actually, we provide data to the MPGN to debate and discuss. So this is exactly what Professor Martinton said in his theory, and this is how it's happening. So I when I do my doctorate, I always think myself, this is definitely going to happen in the country. And really, when I come back to in the country, the theory is really applicable. Okay, you can see this is our structure of what you call MPGN, the NWCC. Okay, Majlis Perundingan Gaji Negara. So you can see that where we are sitting on the red color. You can see the minimum wage technical committee. Yeah, we are there. We are actually chaired by Yang Bahagia Tan Sri Anwar Ali. He was ex VC of UKM. I saw Diponegoro have what you call collaboration UKM. He also Open University president in the past, and now he's chancellor for Cyberjaya University, and he was our chairman. And followed by Dr. A few emeritus professor and the professors from various university. We're sitting on the committee, but the committee is what Professor Martinez said. So above that, cabinet doesn't intervene. Cabinet never intervene on the NWCC, but the minister has power to change whatever. Yeah, he got power. It's under the law. But normally in the last 10 years practice, normally the recommendation from NWCC will be approved by cabinet. Cabinet always respect. It didn't bypass by NWCC independent body. So you can see that they got a lot of representative here. You can see different committee, technical committee, and all these, under the okay. This is actually MPGN, Majlis Perundingan Gaji Negara. The structure is so previously why I showed this slide where I am sitting here where we are now. This is actually chairman, deputy chairman, and then they got you can see that 5 public officers, 5 employee representative, 5 employers representative, and so it's very fair. So we propose, let's say we propose 1,100 ringgit. We propose from the technical committee, but the debate actually going on here. So nobody can bypass anyone. They all must be go through step by step and discuss, and finally then only go up to the higher level to do that. So that is the most important in terms of setting up the minimum wage. So finally, NCWW will be recommend to the cabinet. For example, now we are doing all the research completed. Now we're writing a report, and they will debate. Will going on. I think maybe in the next 2 months by NCW Majlis Perundingan Gaji Negara, which is chaired by the chairman. The chairman come from the private sector. Is nominated by independent bodies. And then there will be a lot of election every 3 years. They got election to select the new committees. In fact, for us also, every 3 years they will select the technical committee. Okay, it was established in 2011, 28 September. So almost coming to the 10 years already. So what the MPGN will do, NCW will do, advise the government on minimum wage, make recommendation to the government, consult the public, which have already done, and collect data, we already done for that, and evaluate the impact. All these done by the technical committee, which I'm involved for last 11 years. So then we deliberate to the about minimum wage, and we review the order from the time at the time. And in this context, the law said 2 years once. So every 2 years, we are working every year actually. Cannot be wait for 2 years. So we collect data. It is time consuming. It's not that easy job. Because you need to go all over. We want everybody to say something about next revise of the order of the minimum wage. We don't simply do ourselves. No, never do that. It's actually go through the very various process. So qualitative data and quantitative data. Qualitative, we use the FGD, focus group discussion. Quantitative, we use the survey. And apart from say, we also secondary data, also a lot of statistics at the government level. But it's a valid data, and it was recognized by the government. Like in this context, we're using DOSM. DOSM is a Department of Statistics of Malaysia. So the data provided by them, because they are every committee in the technical committee, they also representative from DOSM. They also people from Productivity Center, and also people from the research center. But apart from that, we got professors sitting on that. Okay, so appointment date enforcement. Okay, there will be appointment and NWCC members, so they can revoke the appointment, make the order. So these are the main rules and regulation play. But if you look at these all, it related to the employee participation theory, which is Professor Dunlop, I say, under the indirect employee participation. So you are, as a researcher, doctor student, you have to justify, you have to select the problem, you need to identify the problem, you need to analyze, you need to determine your method, you determine the right theory, the right concept, the right model, the right analysis, to come up with the the good finding, and later you propose a new model. So doctoral student always remember, you need to propose a new model and new theory, new knowledge in your research. Okay. So again, this is our committee. Like I said, technical committee was president, vice chancellor, former Open University, and deputy vice chairman, actually former. At that time, is a former executive director, Malaysian Institute of Economics, and one from Department of Statistics, one Malaysian Political Center, and one from the Labour Ilmiah, and 5 academician. And I was one of the in that position. So we got the statistical expert, we got econometric, social, labor, industrial relation, and we got the secretary from Ministry of Human Resources. All right. So this is the process how we set up the new order for every 3 years. So first we do public consultation by technical committee. We involve directly, and we exit the deliberation to the technical committee, and technical committee recommend to, and say Minister of Human make the order. All right. So if cabinet agreed, and then they will go on to say the order. Otherwise, cabinet can send back to us to NWCC to revise again. So the cabinet have a power to see whether something to be improved. Let's say, because in the cabinet you must understand, they also got people from the various background, various state of Sabah, Sarawak, and many states. So they maybe give some idea. So normally it will come back to us, and NCW will send back to us second committee and to revise back again. But so far we see everything okay in order, because they are satisfied with the finding. That's why the finding, the research must very thorough, thoroughly conducted, thoroughly analyzed, and so that they agree with the finding and so on. That's why I'm telling here the doctoral research is very important. Okay. And so sometimes not that easy. Sometimes very difficult, because workers, employer have a different views. Workers sometimes don't agree with the amount 1,000. Employers say no, I cannot pay. Now it's COVID-19. How can we pay? We are not doing well. So this is how the IR is playing important role. Industrial relation actually bring the harmony between these two parties. So I believe IR and HR never die forever in our life. As long human being exists, IR, HR will be exist. So we are in expert on this field. But of course, I believe that we have to across the discipline, like accounting, marketing, public policy, and so on. We cannot deny that we work in silo. So doctor student in this group, you have to have connection between yourself. You need to have work together. Don't work under silo. Don't work independent. You need to cross over your friends. You ask your friend what their friend doing, and your friends must tell you what you're doing, and you all exchange story. This happened to me and Dr. Prof Anis when it was Australia. We are cross discipline. So sometimes we are working, we met, we have coffee, and we discuss. Hey, what are you doing? And I asked the Prof said, I'm doing accounting. Oh, which firm you're doing accounting? Oh, I'm doing in Indonesia. And he asked me, what are you doing? Okay, I'm doing IR. Which company I'm doing in Post Malaysia? So this is how our network will start. And of course, when I work with Dr. Ariana, because we have the same, same expression on the research in here. All right. So every member to give their own opinion. Nobody will stop another one. It's a very thorough, professional, and governance. And people have to say this, and then finally they have to agree. So there will be some. Okay. So these are the stages. Stages. So normally ours is a very important. Technical committee is a backbone, nerve center of NWCC. So always NWCC will come back to us to propose research. So every year we do 2 research. The one is impact studies, impacts of minimum wage. The other one is to propose the new order. So that 2 research will be do with the qualitative and quantitative, secondary and primary data. We will do that. So from this we know how important it is. How important it is to understand the basic needs of the employers in Malaysia, in accordance to the employers that also ability to pay. So we need to understand. That's what industrial relation very important. Industrial relation is just not law. Many Malaysian people, private sector think is a law. Actually not. It's beyond the law. Industrial harmony. Harmony must maintain through any mechanism that we do that. So this is important that theory of IR, theory HR must come in the picture. So who know that? Only us. Those academicians, those researchers, they will understand. So I proposed for the context of Malaysia is from my own proposal, my own model, because after I was academic for more than 30 years, and in fact previously I proposed a new model that we have better employer-employee relationship in the country. Of course, I use a pluralist perspective. Probably Indonesia, I think maybe use the same also because we are the same root, come from root, the same root, same language, same background. Culturally, we are same. So I think I propose this. So as a professor of IR, I think I able to propose this. And I think that under the pluralist, we got a lot of contextual issues, historic, where we come from, international economy, labor market, technology, politics, and now we are struggling with the COVID-19. COVID-19 is a worst scenario in the world, economic crisis, because we are dealing with the health, another time dealing with the economy. In the past, only economic crisis. We still able to run the business within the context. But today, with the COVID-19, we are not able to go to work because all lockdown. We still lockdown in Malaysia. We still cannot cross the state. But certain state, they can cross within the district. Like ours, yes, Selangor, Kelantan, many places already can cross within the state. But across the country, not yet. So it will affect your tourism, your business, many hotels, and no way on the operation. All like closed down. Most of them like silent. And workers, I think, no jobless. Workers, no pay. So we have to think that the best approach for Malaysia to think, I think pluralist approach is one of the best because you can bring everybody in harmonies. So this is what the Dunlop was saying. So Professor Alan Flanders in 1960s, he proposed this model, okay, based on the condition in the United Kingdom. But the model still can apply to now. So now we are moving from the conflict to cooperation. So these are the one we have to do in academic at the doctoral level. So doctoral student, when you got all the problem, you got the proper method, you got the proper analysis, you need to propose a new model. You need to propose a new for the then you consider as a doctoral level. Then you contribute later. So this is how I always talk to my student. Okay. So recently ILO also communicate with us. They want us to do on the social dialogue. See whether we are tripartism discussion is strong or not, moderate or very weak or whatever. They got some research going on. So social dialogue always must take place. If you look at the university, we got dean, we got top management, we got a senate member, we got the faculty members, we got the non-academic. We must use this social dialogue, tripartite discussion. We cannot bypass any decision by top to lower or lower to top, but we have to engage. So I think in current situation, after we've gone through the post-COVID-19, I think COVID teachers taught us something that cooperation very important. Conflict is good, but we cannot all the way conflict all our life, but we have to move on to look at it cooperation, because you will eventually impact the economy of the country, economy performance of the company, and well-being of the society and well-being of the employer. That's very good. So why we want to bypass one another? So we sit down and discuss and think. And we look at other countries, what they're doing. Like you look at the Scandinavian country, like Finland, Sweden. They are highly unionized firm. A unionized country. They are 70%, 60%. Why they are live peacefully? Germany. Look at Germany. Why they are? Because they all never bypass one to another. So I cannot say that everything apply to the condition in Asian condition. So Asian must be grow. Asian forces. Like we got India's big market, China's coming big market, ASEAN big market. That's why in my beginning thought I told Professor Bruno, okay, we are in the right track. We are doing this. Okay, I hope Dr. Anis also we can collaborate. Probably now we collaborate with the other countries like Sri Lanka, India, and South India, and also in ASEAN countries. So we cannot silo. So this is the reason why we set up the Malaysian Industrial Relation HR, because we want to bring people not only from the practitioners, but we also want to bring from academics. So we got a lot of university in Malaysia working on the labor. And I think we need to, bring them on the board so that everybody must understand. So each student, like my doctorate student, I interview them before I recruit them. I never take fresh. No, I don't do that. I interview them first. I understand them first, and then only I recruit them. And that will be more valuable for me because I can see what they're trying to do. Right? So finally, what I'm conclude here that is the effective employee participation in the organization be a source of success for any labor HR for that effect. So this is the right time for COVID-19. Although this statement I proposed in year 2017, 5 years ago, but today I think with the COVID-19, all the country in the world must emphasize on employee participation. Don't make any decision that will be affect another parties. Like example in terms of employees, union, and all this. But to me, everybody work, sit together and discuss. That's why I say we have to cross the country. We have to learn each other. I learn from Indonesia. Malaysia learn from Indonesia. Indonesia learn from Malaysia. So we have to learn each other in terms of education policy and so on. So why we work silo? Why we work at our own self? Why we cannot cross? I see many students stay in our own country. I always memberi cabaran kepada pelajar-pelajar Indonesia dan Malaysia. Why not you cross over? Okay, to your neighbor. So we facilitate. We are lecturer facilitated. I think Prof Anis, Prof Suwarno, we all facilitate them. So they can moving around. Why Dr. Sule just stay in Indonesia? Why not they go to Malaysia and look at the So I like to say good news for all of you. Recently, Post Malaysia appointed Mr. Charles. I think he's from Germany, a new CEO. From expatriate. Then he was my social friend in the LinkedIn. So I messaged him and said, Mr. Charles, Mr. Chris, can I pass my book to you? Because one of the case study that I do in Post Malaysia. So probably you can use this case study to implement a same policy that was proposed in the past. Because I always say that Post Malaysia have the best practices for the employee participation. And we're going to meet him soon. I'm going to pass the thing, and I said, please refer back this. So you can see that, whatever you do, your doctorate will be helpful in the future. So that's why I already published as a book, and I think good for you to have this one. And I also like to invite all of you in the next Dr. Frank, I think it's here. They're going to organize a 3 days workshop on research and publication. So I'd like to invite Dr. Anis, and your student can participate on that. Maybe Dr. Frank can help us to bring them. So that's also good that we got option on that. So with that note, Prof, so I end my presentation here, Prof. Thank you very much, Prof. What can I pass to you?